we started seriously taking it seriously 6 years ago. And my husband and I, we started at our house, and people were stopping by, his friends and everybody, and so kept on doing it for a couple of years. And then one day a person walked up to us and they were like, you know what, we want to start paying you for your barbecue. And we were like, oh, okay. That's when we really thought about taking it serious. And so one year we were out camping and stuff, and we went to a campground out of town. And so the little kids, we didn't know, this is the first time we've been there. And the little kids ran up to my husband and they were like, the barbecue man. And I was like, what? So that's when we really got serious about it. And then when this opportunity opened up, we just said, well, we might as well go on and do it. This is what his father did, my mother did, and so that's how we got started with it. We go fishing every year. Let me try to fix this real quick, but it's kind of crooked. But we go fishing every year, and this is a picture of one of his friends that he's a fisherman, and we're part of this little thing that we do every year, and he catches the biggest fish in Iowa. I swear, this man, he just throws his lure in, and the fish just jump up and just
yeah.
So that's one of my husband's good friends, and we're gonna put him on the wall because we do catfish and swat, any type of fish that comes out of the lakes, and then some from the ocean. I'm shooting for next week. It might push it out a little bit further, depending on where we're at with the inspection and everything. We're still we just went and bought this stove, and we still got a little bit of more stuff to do, but I'm pushing for next week, maybe the end of next week. It's a nice project. It's a family project. Yeah. So when we just all came together, Benji actually came to the house one day, and he was like, "We're gonna open up a restaurant," and he was like,
We're still working on some stuff, like we're building stickers and posters and things like that, and we've got a couple of advertisements online. So you have to think about the advertisement, building an audience. The mall helps, but it's good to have your own audience when you're creating things.
Well, he used to create video games, and I'm go to his room and he'll say, I created this video game. And I'm like, a video game? And he used to make music and he was very creative all his life. He's really a creative person. So yeah, so when he was little, he was doing stuff that was I couldn't fathom him, because I'm the mother, and I'm like, you're doing that? What the heck? So yeah, he's been an artist all his life. Yeah, and then watch. I guess I can give credit to myself a little bit too, because he watched me do a lot of projects, and I was on the radio for 14 years, and I was doing a lot of things, and my kids were there, and they were basically involved in all that, so they just watched him. Yeah.
It's Daddy too, because Daddy had us rapping and doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And his father is very creative. He's a production artist, and so he has a lot of people in his family that influences him. To be who he is.
So Iodine is arts and entertainment. We pretty much do everything that is art. So if we are creating a piece, we could do painting, we could do poetry, we could do a mixed media of painting while poetry is going on, or painting while dancing is going on, and things like that. All of our art reflects community, education, and to inspire. So Iodine started right after I was in high school. So I was inside of an attic, and it was me and my best friend Wesley Butts, and we were sitting up there in the attic, and we were thinking, we got all this art, we're not doing anything with it. It's just sitting up here collecting dust. So I was like, all right. So I told him, I was like, maybe we should start an art company. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I was like, what do we call it? And so we were thinking about markers, and there's iodine inside of markers. So, and he used to draw eyes all the time. Kind of thought about it as like maybe we should call it iodine. And first we started off, we were doing like graffiti and stuff like that, and drawing. We would go and take pictures out of our sketchbook, and we would go around the neighborhood, and we would sell our sketches for like $5 each. So eventually we started actually like selling artwork, and we started getting better the more that we built. And we came out with a shirt called the Eagle Sensei shirt, and we had got it printed. We saved up about $200 from selling sketches out of our notebooks, and we got these shirts printed. We made about 24, and we sold all of them and made like a profit off of them. And I think those were some of the best times, because that was like when we were really like starting out, and we had like this crazy passion of just like just selling and just trying to make something, and to make something of ourselves in the art world. A majority of my work is for iodine. I view iodine as an extension of myself. So everything that I do, I usually claim it as iodine. But there are things outside of iodine that I do that aren't pertaining to art. So my passion is in teaching. So I've gone to school for teaching. But while I'm going to college and pursuing my career, I took art classes at the same time.
How I got started in art was when I was very little, and I would take my pictures to my mother, and I would show her my pictures, and then she would encourage me to draw more, or she'd ask me to be more creative. She'd be like, why don't you draw a cartoon or make a story or write a book to go with it? So then that kind of developed my skills as an artist. And I see a lot of my students, like I have one student, and she's amazing at art. She draws like some incredible things, and I think it's just those influences around you that tell you that, yeah, it's possible for you to be an artist, and it's a great skill to have, is very important. I think that, like you just have to pursue it and dedicate yourself to it. When you have it takes a certain amount of hours to, master a skill, a certain amount of days to master a skill. But when you keep at something and you never give it up and you continue to do it, you're going to be great. I think that people can do that, like in society, very easily. I think where people have trouble is believing that they can do it.
Yeah.
How you get better at doing things is by fixing the mistakes. The harder it is for you, the better you're going to get. Mm-hmm. But if you just have everything easy all the time, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to grow. I think there's a quote, it's like without struggle, there's no progress.
This job is one thing that keeps you old, and it also keeps you young. And I think that's where it has changed my life. Working with kids is such a positive thing. There's so much innocence in children, and it's like that scene in Alice in Wonderland where you're sitting down at the table with the Mad Hatter, and you never know what's going to happen, but you might as well have a good time because you're here. It's the career you chose. So I think that it changes you to make you even more of a positive person. When I walk into the school system, you walk down the hall, everybody is going to say good morning to you, and you're going to say good morning back. And it's just a very positive vibe. And even when things are feeling like, dang, I'm behind a lesson, or I'm behind 2 lessons, you always have that encouragement around you. So it teaches you how to be that way, and it teaches you how to be more understanding for people and people around you in general. If you were to, I couldn't imagine running a marathon that never ends. It does have to end somewhere, but I think it's more of what you consider as success. I think it's just the people that you're around and the relationships and the friendships that you build. If I were to make no money off of my art company, just nothing, I would still be happy to know that I produce content for the world to enjoy and the world to learn from. So as long as I'm continuing to do that, whether, I can't really consider it as not being successful. I could end today, and I would be the luckiest person that ever lived to me, because I have created something that I can produce to the world.